I'm Roxanne from Quest, and I will be presenting, facilitating this online training on open schooling. Very nice to have you all here. I will quickly go through the agenda. So I will do a very quick introduction to Quest, who we are, and then we will open the floor to our guest speakers. We have three speakers with us today on the subject of open schooling. First, we will have more bits about the theory on open schooling, and then we have two practical examples of projects, of open schooling projects. And they will be presenting it, and then afterwards we have quite an amount of time for a Q&A and an open discussion, where you are also invited to participate. So first, Quest. Quest stands for Quality Education for Sustainable Social Transformation. And we're a network, and we're bridging or connecting schools, projects, organizations that are working with or interested in innovative pedagogies. And our aim is to make a change in the educational landscape towards a more inclusive, democratic educational area. And we work in different subjects. It goes from self-directed learning, democratic education, education in nature, sociocracy in schools and organizations, inclusion in education. And we do this on like in different ways. We do some research on these pedagogies to have more a scientific basis for them. And we also publish the reports on our website. We practice because we're engaged in several projects. For example, the Outside project, where Irene will talk about it in this meeting. We also we want to promote these transforming pedagogies, our education via videos that we're making, via articles that we're writing, via our newsletter, to create more visibility on the subjects of self-directed learning, open schooling, democratic education, etc. And we also want to make like a change in policy in this level. So we have also a policy circle that's working on it and advocating for a change in the educational landscape, and therefore we also consult our members. And then we connect. We are a member organization, a network organization, and we connect the small schools, educational organizations to have possible cooperations in the future. And so we organize member forums, which this one is also a member forum, where our members can also meet and exchange and interact. And it's very important for us. So our members are very important. And so we always welcome new members. So if you're interested, you're a school or an organization and you want to connect with other organizations, you want to have an overview about what we're doing, have access to our the things we're working on, the papers, the events, then could be really interesting to becoming a member. And for example, this event will in the future be only for our members. So if you want to stay in touch, just let us know. You can contact us or Ellen, our membership officer. You see her email address here on this page. So reach out if you're interested. And did I have to say a bit more about this? Yeah, membership is free. Also important to know. And then I think it was really short about who we are, who Quest is. I made it really short because we also want to have room for the speakers, of course, and to go into the subject of schools as open communities, on open schooling. And so here I'm just presenting the 3 guest speakers that we have today. First, we have Martina from Quest, the coordinator and researcher at EUDEC, who is going to talk about the theoretical framework of open schooling and how we can put it into practice. Afterwards, we have Irene Morici from Trackify and Base 3, and she will talk about the outside projects where they were partnering and on the impacts of this on the children. What they've experienced. And then we have Marie de Mulder from Lycée Voyageur. It's a Belgian school in a bus, and she will talk about this experience of an open school. I just want to remind the guest speakers that we have like 15 minutes for each presentation, because we really want to have enough time to generate discussion and to have questions from the participants. So if we can all be a bit timekeepers and be responsible for, if you can be responsible for your own timing, then we make sure we have enough time at the end of the session, because we want to close around 6. The session would be finished around 6. So then I think we can start, and we will start with Martina. So I will stop sharing my screen, and then you can take over. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Roxanne. While I try to share my screen, maybe people can write in the chat where you're from, or how do you feel today, so we know the different array of people present here. Do you see my screen?
Yes, Martina.
Very good. Okay, so also Roxanne, if I go over time, it's okay for me if you stop me and say that 15 minutes are over, but I would try really to keep super short, because this is the most theoretical of the 3 intervention today. So I would really prefer to give the floor to more interesting presentations. But I think I would just like to start saying the reason why we are here today talking about open schooling, because at Quest we really feel that we cannot consider school as island, but the only way that we could promote education at school is to see it embedded in its social context. And therefore, we cannot present in discussing about open schooling, so the connection between school and society. And so really, there is an important urge for us to promote best practices and to exchange ideas between practitioners that are working in this direction. And in particular, we want to today to have this open forum, also to pay tribute to 2 projects that we find really important. One, it's the Outside project that we started being as partner, I think 4 years ago, and Irene will tell us about. But for us, it was a great opportunity, because was the first Erasmus project that Quest took place in. And so for us today, it's also a way to acknowledge the importance of that project, and the way we move on the journey all around these 4 years together with the partner of this project, and as well as to also share the best practice of school, like Marie will tell us the example of the Lycée Voyageur. So really the importance of give relevance to great practice in Europe and beyond. So let's start about what we will do today. I will skip the agenda. But what's the premises of what I'm saying is that as major infrastructure and integral part of the community fabric, as I was saying, school can have a really profound impact on the social, economical, and physical character of a neighborhood or of a city or of a town. So we should really think about the social impact that the school can have in this sense. However, for the major of the case, we see school, it's still segregated and separated unity from the society, with not real connection to the external world. And in the school, society is explained to children, not shown, and represented artificially. There was someone making this very interesting parallel with the Plato's allegory of the cave, in which, from the mirror, the shade of what will happen outside the cave are seen, but the reality is never seen directly, it's just interpreted, and this creates a disconnection from the reality itself. Similarly, when we think about a school, or when we ask a child to draw a school, the image that often comes out, it's something like the ones you see, quite standardized, closed, separated from the reality. And the inside, it's also quite standardized, glass, four-walled, separated desks, etc. With open schooling, we want to dismantle this image and transform schools from closed environments to innovative ecosystems connected to the local community around and to real life contexts. So if we have an open school, the local community becomes a sort of annex of the school itself. There is no real separation. And the school cooperates with these external stakeholders in order to promote the community well-being as well. So students, teachers, educational policymakers, parents, and other interest members of the society can all cooperate together in order to expand the learning environment beyond the school walls. And this allows students to get access to rich content outside expert and experience-based learning. This is definitely not a new approach. Probably it's a new name. Let's say 10 years ago, we were not talking about open schooling with this name, but already, many of you will know about Bronfenbrenner ecological model. We would see already the child as included into different spheres that would connect the child within the broader society. And the more permeable are those spheres, the better it's the children development. Similarly, when we talk about democratic schools, a lot has been written about connection and the importance of the connection from the learner to the real life experience. We hear quotes with John Holt, that's a pedagogue more in the unschooling movement, that was really pointing out on the importance of school being connected with real life. Otherwise, when there is not this connection, learning cannot happen. However, what's the step forward with open schooling is an attempt to really codifying the relationship with school and society as a way that it could be really codified in national policy and European policy as well. We see, therefore, open schooling as a means of connecting school with society. But I would say that in order for open schooling to happen, we need to have 4 fundamental aspects to be present. One is that the openness needs to be both-sided. So from the one hand, students can go outside of the school, but on the other hand, the school can also welcome external expert, external representative of the societies within the school. The second aspect is that it needs to be continuative. It's not enough to go once a year in a study visit, because many schools would say, yes, we are open because we have this study visit. It needs to be structured, continuative, and be part of the school plan, programs, vision. Third, it needs to be pedagogically grounded, meaning that it needs to be rooted around the children focus of interest. So the school pedagogy has to support the open schooling, otherwise it creates a disconnection. And the fourth aspect is that because it's so locally specific, open schooling needs to be respond to local needs, and so the needs of the society or the needs of the children of the area. We have seen that already 20 years ago, the OECD wrote a report that was called the reschooling scenario, in which was envisaging 4 possible scenarios for the school of the 2020. One of this was the reschooling scenario, in which they said that the schools would be transformed into core social centers. So they were imagining that they will become a sort of hub where the school will be included in the community to increase the socialization of the community, and a shared responsibility between school and community would be created. This didn't happen yet. 20 years after, we see that we are just at the beginning of this. However, we see that the European Commission in 2015 started talking about the importance of open schooling and theorizing it in the Science Education for Responsible Citizenship document. And the UNESCO as well is now, since year, talking about the importance of embedding the school in the society fiber in order for it to be a double benefit, both for the school and the society. And the last report on the International Commission for the Future of Education was highlighting it quite a lot. When I said that one of the key aspects of open schooling is that the school pedagogy needs to support open schooling, it means that it has to be rooted on the children's interest, and therefore the school pedagogy could reflect a child-centered pedagogy. And here I put 4 examples of pedagogical style and approach that are often taken by school embarking in open schooling. Definitely project-based learning It's one of the most used because most of the time it's the school working project, and so there is something to be created with the help of the external expert, with the of organization, university, and thanks to a project to be created, the learning happen, the interest sparkles in students. But it also the importance of multidisciplinarity is also very much clear in open schooling, because when you are in contact with the reality, well, there is not such one subject as silos, but all are interconnected. And therefore adding already a pedagogy within the school that favor this multidisciplinarity, it's very useful for students, so that they can see that all the subjects could be bring together and could cooperate together. So enabling this correlation reach incredibly the learning process. Definitely this all is supported by student-centered learning. So really acknowledging the voice of the students in the learning experience. So allowing children to decide how to learn, how they will assess their or learning, and having therefore a primary active role in taking decision about, you know, how I want to pursue a certain curriculum. The other step further to student-centered learning is the promotion of self-directed education, which is not only choosing how we want to learn, but really if I want to learn, what I want to learn. So basically allowing the student to have the whole process of learning in their own hands. And this enrich even more the open schooling approach itself, because it's fueled with the student motivation of choosing what to do, how to do. And so all the road to it. So finally, how to put it in practice. I would just show you this slide. It's taken by a project. So you can see it in the website. It's called Open School for Open Society. And they explain a very clear roadmap on how to enact open school into every school. And it all starts from a cultural change. So the importance of really have a cultural shift in the understanding of what a school is, and then finding some change agents that normally are just a group of teachers and students that are motivated. And then, of course, there is the need to get the school willingness to open up. So the importance to have normally the headmaster convinced of this of these steps. And then the next is the work with inspiring visionaries outside of the school, meaning the families, local community, industry, informal groups that can really sparkle interest in the school itself, about the school, the students' center of interest and possibility of cooperation. And therefore, then the student can really start their research and their innovation and practices, and see what they want to construct together with the external society. And just after that, the school can be open in a process that it's a constant reflection and change. This is just a very quick summary, but you can go on this website, and for every of these steps, it really suggests clear how-to for every of the actor involved in open schooling. So if you are a teacher, a parent, if you're a member of the society, if you're a student, you can look at this and see how step-by-step open schooling is possibly promoted in your school. I think my time is over, so I will not read it through this slide, but I'm just going to say that Quest, it's about to launch a position paper on open schooling, bringing key recommendation for EU policymakers about what are the action that should be undertaken in order to promote open schooling. And here we have listed 10 actions. It will be released quite soon in the next days. It has been done by my colleague from policy, Gabriel Frank. And so if you will read our website and be in touch with us, you will soon be able to read it through. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina, for this. In line with what you just said, we will also just quickly be showing a video that we have made in the recent days about open schooling. My colleague will be sharing it, and it's also a way to be able to communicate more on it via our social networks and platforms. So just have a look. It's only 1 minute and a half.
Salut.
Okay, so that was a little video. I hope you all saw it well, that the connection was good, and we will immediately go to the next speaker, Irene. I will just give the word to you, and then we can have more an insight in what it means to what impact a project like Outside can have on the children.
Yes, thanks a lot. I will share my screen. I hope you can see my presentation. Yeah. Okay, so thanks a lot to Roxanne and all the cast team for inviting me today. I am Irene from Italy, and today I represent Trekify, which is a sport association based in Italy, in Umbria. And we were a partner of this Erasmus Plus project. We work together with other 8 organizations. We ended, I think, last year in March. So we were 9 partners, 4 schools and 5 partners, like, for example, Quest and other organizations active in the field of education and lifelong learning. Outside was a KA2 Erasmus Plus project, and it's very nice and interesting for me being here today because I will just share with you our direct experience and how we put what Martina has just described, so the open schooling approach, into practice. So the idea behind the project and the need was linked to the fact that traditional, conventional education was not longer enough to equip learners and teachers with the necessary tools to meet the future challenges, and also to be able to work in a new world with new challenges. So the idea of this project, of the Outside Project, was basically to the need to promote environmental and sustainable development education through open schooling. This was the main idea and need behind the Outside Project, and the main purpose was to support students and teachers to respond to the local needs, as Martina has just emphasized. So to be able to detect the resources, the challenges of the local community, and together with the school, so with the teachers and other students, but also with the resources within the local community. So, for example, the municipality or other NGOs, or for example, small and medium enterprises can work together and try to solve this issue, or to contribute to the development on the specific local community. The methodology behind the project was based on participatory learning and action, based on the active involvement not only of all the actors of schools, but also the local the actors of the local community. So all the methodology of the project was based on facing the challenges of the real world, so on experiential learning. Here you can see the three main steps or phases of the methodology that we use within the Outside Project. So the main purpose of the project was to support students to acquire the skills and competencies, for example, creativity, sense of initiative, and entrepreneurship in general, needed to develop green business ideas. So ideas which are still business ideas, so they can be used for, of course, for profit, but green business ideas, so ideas that are in line, that are sustainable from an environmental point of view. This was the final result of the project. To achieve these final results and to collect 16 green business ideas from the students from Italy, Croatia, Lithuania, and Belgium, we follow this three-step methodology, three-step strategy. So the first phase was called Outside the Classroom. So we asked the students and teachers of our partnership to go outside the classroom, to map, to identify the needs, the interests of the local community. And this is very much in line with what Martina said about the needs of responding to local needs. So students and teachers had to go outside and to see which kind of needs and interests they had within their local community. Then, and this is the second phase of the project, considering the findings of this research, they had, together with the teachers, but also with the actors of the local communities, so representative of NGOs, small, medium enterprises, private and public institutions, they had, together with them, students had to came up with green business ideas, and this was the second phase of the project. And then, and this was the third and more challenging phase, they had to turn these environmental issues into green business opportunities. This is the methodology that we use, but I would like to stress an important thing and remark about the project, that most of the schools that were involved in the project were very, how to say, traditional, conventional schools. So these three phases and the fact to open up to the local community wasn't so easy for them, because they got used to follow and to use a very traditional approach, where the classroom was the main environmental, the main space where the learning and teaching process took place. So this was very, very not difficult, but still challenging for them. We only had a school within the partnership who had and has an extensive experience in the field of outdoor learning and outdoor education, our partner from Belgium. And so this was very, very nice for us to see and to share experiences between very traditional schools, like the schools that we had in Lithuania, in Croatia and Italy, and these very innovative schools that we had in Belgium. And this was very, very interesting also for the teachers participating in the project. Following these three steps, we produce 4 main results. I will go very quickly through this 4 intellectual outputs. You can find all these results and material on the project website in English and all the national languages of the partnership. Just mention that we develop a toolkit for educators. So based on the results of our research on outdoor learning and open schooling, we prepare a set of theoretical, but above all, practical material for teachers to discover the opportunities of outdoor learning and open schooling. Then we design an online platform where all this information is stored, and where teachers, students, but also representatives of the local community can use to become change agent in their own local community. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, the idea of the project was to support students in coming up with green business ideas. So once the students develop this green business idea, we gather all these ideas together in a collection. And then we also develop the so-called outcome and competence framework and guidelines to support other organizations, not only schools, but other organizations too across Europe, to develop entrepreneurial mindset. This is the experience that we had in Croatia, because we also organize a training mobility for students in Croatia for all the schools involved in the project. And it was extremely interesting to see, first of all, the great feedback and motivation that the students participating in the mobility from Italy, Croatia, Lithuania, and Belgium had to showcase their business idea, and to show how they turn their ideas into something real and tangible. And I think this was a very added value to the project, to have this meeting of all the students from 4 different countries all together in Croatia. And then the impact of the outside project before and during this mobility in Croatia. We gave to the students a set of questions, an online survey, just to get their feedback and to analyze the impact of their overall experience throughout the project. And here you can see the main, I've tried to summarize a bit the feedback that they provided. And it was very, very interesting for us to analyze their feedback, because we can see that there are a lot of benefits, not only for teachers, but also for students, because they had a very active role during the outside project. And not only the mobility in Croatia, but the overall experience was extremely important for them in terms of developing business skills and knowledge, but also in terms of communication in a foreign language. So they had to communicate in English with their peers. So it was very, very important for them. It has been a chance for improving their communication in a foreign language. But the experience, the overall experience of the project was also very powerful for them for improving their entrepreneurial mindset. So the idea and the importance of turning ideas into action, the importance of being creative, and the importance of thinking outside the box. So they gain awareness about the relevance of this kind of approach. We have also noticed that their cross-cultural competence was increased. They had to stay during the mobility in Croatia. They had to stay together to work in team with people and students from other countries. So they had to develop their cross-cultural competence, and this is an aspect the students really liked a lot during the project. And then they increase awareness on the concept of sustainability and green entrepreneurship. And above all, they also gain awareness on the need and power of learning together. So responding to the local needs of their community, and also the fact that they gain awareness about the relevance of widen their horizon. Of course, they have to learn from their teachers, so they have to learn at school, but also the local communities, plenty of opportunities, of resources they can and they should use for learning more and learning better. And this is basically our experience. You can find all the resources of the project on our website. And yeah, I think that it was just a very short overview of the project. That later, if you have any question, please feel free to come back to me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Irene. And indeed, we will have time for questions later. So if you have questions, write them down somewhere. And then we will go to Marie from Lycée Voyageur. Welcome, Marie.
Thank you. I have to apologize because I'm not a very fluent English speaker, so I will do my best. So, do I have to share my screen? Yes, here. Okay.
You can share it.
Here. And then where do I have to launch it? Sorry.
I think it's somewhere below or
somewhere below. I'm not used to PowerPoint. So here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. But you see me here. Is it okay like this?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay.
So what's Lycée Voyageur? So I will explain what's our classroom. It doesn't work. Yes. Okay. So the Lycée Voyageur is the first classroom on wheels in Europe. And it's designed to become a new form of open schooling model for the youngsters between 15 and 21. Because most of the schools, the open schools, are for the children, but at a certain point they want to go back towards regular school because they feel a lack of teenagers from their age. So and they need to discover more than just the local community. So it's towards the youngsters between 15 and 21. they need to socialize and discover the real world, to go on the field and learn about adult life. So it's a bit different than just a local community like it was in the Arbre des Possibles. So I will put you a little video, and it's in French, but I will translate it while it's going. It was a festival where we went, and it's a festival about van life. So we went with the bus. As you can see, this is our classroom on wheels. It's made of recuperation materials for now. So I created a school in a bus. It's called Lycée Voyageur. And you will visit my mobile classroom. So the space in the front is the space, the passive learning space. It is a chill space because youngsters need to be on the floor. Or library. The books will be there. Everything is recuperation materials. There is flower. It's a artistic installation, not a hippie bus. For a festival, we did it. The backspace, it's the active learning space. This is the first time it's existing in Europe and maybe in the world. I didn't find something similar. Since 15, we want to feel free and responsible. We have this road trip spirit. Our promise is become what you are. Find in yourself who you are and just become the best version of yourself. We just prepare them to live an adventure. The needs of the projects, we need people, we need learning space, we need stakeholders to transmit their knowledge, and we need money. Because we don't exist, there is nothing existing similar in administration. So it's very difficult for us to find our place. Oh, okay. No, that's not what I want to do. So we are prototyping our learning ship, and our learning ship, we gave it a name, and it's the Odyssey bus. So Odyssey, it's everyone knows what the Odyssey is. It's the story of Ulysse, written by the Homer Greek writer. And it's about a journey. We bought the bus second hands, and this is our classroom. So it brings us to different activity, different space, but it's also a means to do little trips and a longer travel. We met a young designer from La Cambre, which is a high, school, but a superior school of arts, very famous in Belgium, and a scenographer. She's called Gaia, and Anatole and Gaia are helping us to design the bus to transform it in a real classroom on wheels. So we express our needs and feedback to them. For example, it's difficult to sleep in the bus, or it's cold, or maybe we need to put something there. Is it possible? And everything. So we express our needs and feedback to them, and we aim to present this prototype by September 25 to the public, but we want to finish it for June 24. I will explain later why. So the creation of the prototype is based on field, on our experience of it. And it's very important. It's not only theoretical needs, it's based on life. So we have also a pedagogical model. We are prototyping it also, because this open school form, linked to changes in the way we learn and we teach. For example, I come from pedagogy, active pedagogy teaching. This was my ideal, and what I saw is very different from what I wanted to see. So we needed to adjust our ideals to the reality. And for example, those students, they want to be free, they want to be spontaneous, but they need structure. They really need structure to learn, because when you're 15 and you begin to learn very complex knowledge, and you have to have a structure to like an anchor. You have to build around the structure. So we had a lack of structure, and the students asked for it. We need a community house. So it's impossible to learn all the time in the bus and to change places all the time. So we need a community house where they can sleep sometimes, where they can live, where they can cook, where they can laugh together and live together, like a student's house, to have their blocks together so that they can study for a week together with the teacher coming in this community house. We don't have community house for now, but we know that it's a need. We need a diverse pedagogical team. So teenagers are experiencing the different roles in society. So I was alone when I launched it, and it's impossible for them to give me the authority for everything. It's impossible to have the distance needed for them to learn some things. So the ideal is to have a diverse pedagogical team. They want to discover all the roles in society, and so they want to have different person to associate the roles to what they learn. We also learned that the role of educators is very, very important. I didn't realize that teaching is a thing, but the educator, he's the core of the school. In our classical system, educators, they are just like, I mean, soldier in the school, like, how do you say that? The surveillants, they are looking that everything is okay. They are putting, les punitions, how do you say that? But educators are not the people bringing the dialogue and the need to speak together. Educators need to be trained to nonviolence communication and sociocracy, I think, holacracy, maybe. They need to learn about it, and they need to be able to support the autonomy of the group. Because when you are 15 or 20, you don't want the teacher to tell you everything that you have to do. And this is why I chose this picture, because you see Clémence and Leo, those are students, and they are giving the English lessons to the others because they are perfect bilingual. They want to teach the others and to show that they know. And this is a journey that we experience together. So for this together to exist, for this theme feeling to exist, and the belonging needs is very important when you have a 15 or 16. You have to bring this not really instinctive communication, which is nonviolent communication. So the educator is the real captain and not the teacher. This is why this is different from my ideal. And my ideal teacher is the captain. No, it's not true. Teacher is the captain for the teaching process, but not for the life and the experience of the adult life. So we have a lot of active pedagogy, like project-based learning and outside learning and experience and visits. But actually, when we want to teach them formal knowledge, they ask for are so active all the time that sometimes they just want to be passive. They just want to sit and learn and listen to someone who's mastering the subject. Like when they put C'est pas sorcier, it's a French émission, a French TV show. And when you put a TV show, a documentary, and just sit and you learn, some of the pupils in Arbre des Possibles do that. And my pupils also, they need some passive moments. But the study, the outside moment needs to be project-based learning, but not project-based learning, more thematic-based learning, for example, on justice or on nature or on business or on proof or frontiers. They need to have transversal learning, multidisciplinary learning, but while moving, while visiting, while traveling. But for the formal learning, they want ex cathedra and structure. Of course, open schooling, it's the best way to practice the transversal competencies. We choose to work we choose a project that's called Eden Hub, and they found all the transversal competencies and they brought them together to make a paper, really good paper about what transversal competencies you can practice in schools. So it's towards students, and it's a very good document. It's funded by Erasmus+. So the final goals for the students is formal. They want a diploma, and final achievements. They don't ask for a final achievement. This is my will to bring them to a final achievement, because there is something in the young generation. I don't know if it's always been the case, but for now it's the case. This is this laziness. They don't want to do things. If you let them, they do nothing. They're just on their screen or maybe just speaking together and chatting. So what I do is a bit coaching them to go beyond their limits, beyond the thought of themselves. I want them to bring in something difficult, and I want them to experience difficulties while working on something meaningful for them. So this final achievement is not about formal, it's about them and what they want to realize. And of course, we are traveling together. And this is part of the pedagogical model, because traveling is a way to learn. Since the 19th century, it was for the elite, but now we try to bring it for all the pupils. So we have a 3-year prototyping phase. First phase, I was alone with myself and some friends. It was an administrative and theoretical preparation phase. The second phase was the launching, the first year. I call it the year 0. It was a co-construction moment with all the classroom. We made activity, we give feedback with the answer to identify the strength and the weakness of the model. So on the picture here, you can see a student from last year and a student from this year. And the new students benefits from the experience of the 0-year students. And the zero-year students, they really constructed the structure they needed to go beyond the limited to achieve their goals. So phase 3 is this year. We are experimenting the structure, the formal education that they asked for, and we are collecting feedback on the learning process. They really want to have a diploma, so we had a focus this year on how to get this diploma and what was their need for that. I hope they will have it, because next year or last year of prototyping, we are not taking any more new students, but all the old students are welcome to make a European tour together to disseminate the model and to discover the world through travel. So it's the intense traveling phase that we will have in 24 and 25. We hope to do it in a KA2 project for some of the trips. So why do we need a change in the educational system for the youngsters since 15? Because the future will be decentralized, and if we keep a centralized system of school, we will be part of the old world. So it's a choice. I choose to be part of this decentralized future. I like networking. I think we could support local communities by trusting them in what they feel perfect for them. And we don't need to have a centralized ideal pedagogy forced where it doesn't fit. And we need to empower the youngster to face the challenge of the adult life. As Martina said, the school is so disconnected from reality that they can, when they arrive in Lycée Voyageur, they cannot cook, they cannot take a decision, they are not able to write a mail, and they don't feel able to write a mail. They ask to go to the bathroom. They ask to go to pee, and they're 16. It's so crazy. So when they ask me, can I go to the bathroom? I just say to them, it's a need. You don't have to ask me. Just tell me, I'm going to the bathroom. I need it. So they don't feel adults. And when they are 18 and they go out of the classical school system, they're just like children. They are like children in ability. I mean, they are not powerful at all. So we need to empower the youngster, and we need to link education to the reality of life, people, nature, industry. I mean,
Marie,
oui?
if you can just like close it off in like
Okay.
a couple of minutes, you have still.
Yeah, it's over. It's the last.
Okay,
it's the last,
perfect. Yeah.
So we need to empower the teacher and the educator by giving them back the creative process. So this project is aimed to be a form and to be given to local stakeholders and community. And we need to give the feeling of responsibility instead of possession and power. So for me, responsibility is the path of freedom and not possession and power. So the path to freedom and harmony is responsibility and not possession and power. So they need to experience responsibility. And that's it. I stop the sharing.
Thank you so much for your presentation. For all of the 3 presentations, I think we had really a nice variety of speakers and of the project. So I think participants, you had a glimpse of like the theoretical framework, but also then conventional schools going out to reaching out to society, and then Lycée Voyageur, that is really like a totally different model of what we know. So I think we can just open the floor for questions.